Through all the glitz and glamour of modern-day motorsports, the huge venues, the million-dollar paydays, and the 235-mile-an-hour techno marvels, it is still the lonely vigil of man in machine that is the essence of the sport. No place is that essence rendered down to its basic form more clearly than the bull rings that dot the American landscape. In this arena, these motorized matadors constantly taunt and push the patience of the bull, knowing that at any moment, the black horn of fate can send them reeling from the field. And welcome to Columbus Motor Speedway. We are joining live the first of two Twin 50 qualifiers for the Buckeye 300. I'm Ralph Sheen along with Jim Truddo and Dave Burns. We're getting set to bring you live coverage of the Buckeye 300. We actually are giving you a little bonus coverage right now as you watch Tony Roper in the number 10 and Dave Sensiba, the number 4, battle for the lead here with lap 16 just going in the books.
It's a unique format, Ralph, where these cars are actually qualified on the clock on Saturday. Today, we had a little late start. They run twin 50-lap qualifiers here to set the field. The top 10 cars in this race will actually, as you can see here, the two fastest qualifiers from yesterday, which were Gary St. Amant and Kevin Sawinski, have locked themselves in the field. However, you can see positions 3 through 22, they have to finish the top 10 in each of their 50-lap qualifying races. They split the field of 49 cars into two 50-lap qualifiers. The top 10 finishers then make up the back half of the starting field for the 200-lap event in the Buckeye 300. Positions 23 through 26, as you can see, go to the fastest 4 cars not yet in the field, then they revert back to 1995 points. So this event very important for some of the drivers that have yet to score points in 1996 and may not have enough in 1995 to get them in the field.
Roper and Sensiba are 1 and 2 right now. Ted Smokestad runs in 3rd. Joe Bush currently runs in 4th, and Scott Hansen is behind him in 5th. Now, of course, the reason why we're a little bit behind schedule is because we've had some rain in the area. We've been battling it all morning long, and kind of delayed us for about 2 hours, I guess it was, Jim, from when they originally expected to get the 50 lappers in and then give the drivers a little bit of time to get the machines ready to go racing for the 200-lap affair that we expected to show you. You will get to see all of this now live here on TNN. Sometimes the rain can work in the favor of the viewers at home.
As we mentioned, this is the first of two 50-lap qualifying events. That will set the field for 200 laps of green flag racing in the main event this afternoon at Columbus Motor Speedway. You notice the racetrack is very flat, very, very tight. Third-mile oval here in Columbus, Ohio. The Columbus Motor Speedway repaved 2 seasons ago. Gary St. Amant in qualifying yesterday blistered his own track record, 14.008 seconds. So you get an idea how fast they're going around this third mile. Not a lot of banking, but a lot of speed off the turns.
85.5 miles an hour is the speed as we cross the halfway point now here in this first 50 lapper. There's Joe Knott in the 48, Mike Garvey in the 23. That is 6 and 7. A lot of people at this racetrack, as you watch Joey Knott trying to get to the outside in that 48, this is a racetrack where a lot of people think we could see a first-time winner, and all eyes have been turning to Joe Knott in the 48 and Brad Loney in car 33, who you will see in the second 50 lapper.
Joe Knott qualified 3rd fastest. However, only the top 2 get locked in on qualifying during this qualifying event. Joe Knott was one of 4 drivers in total to break the track record. So indeed, the Lima, Ohio native has it figured out here at Columbus thus far.
So the premier short track racing series live from Columbus Motor Speedway as we get set with round 2 of the American Speed Association's AC-Delco Challenge Series. So now Joey Knott goes after Scott Hansen. And the outside groove is not necessarily the fast way around here by any stretch of imagination. So Joe Knott's car really working well right now. Chris Bradley, the crew chief on the 48, has had a lot of experience finding victory lane at this racetrack with Johnny Benson in the past. Oh, and things get real tight down there in that tough pack as they work their way around Dave Anspaugh in the 37 car. Hansen's going to get squeezed in there, and it looks like Knott's going to pick up another spot. He'll move to third.
Boy, there wasn't enough room in that turn for 3 cars, but Hansen wanted to make it work 3 wide up into turn number 2 now. Scott Hansen in the all-white 53 chasing Joe Knott. Joe Knott started this event back in the 9th position.
That's Rick Beebe in car 15, and there's Bob Seneker in the 84 car, working his way back through the pack. Seneker sits back in 12th position. Tony Raines right behind him in car 87. So 2 drivers we expected to see up front, Raines and Seneker, mired down in traffic.
Well, Tony Raines actually got together with Rick Miller and the opening laps of this 50-lap qualifier. The track very slick. These cars actually help dry the surface. But as we see Tony Roper working turns 3 and 4, they have clear sailing. It's a lot different behind him.
Roper has had no problems in this one. In fact, he has led basically every lap of this 50-lap affair. 34 laps are completed.
Joe Knott trying to work outside of Ted Smokestad's Super America Pontiac, not in the all red and white Valvoline Ford. Really making the outside work, Ralph. It seems like that reserve is dried off to the point where now Hansen's trying to advance on the 14 of Joe Bush.
Hansen's going to give it a whirl, and it looks like Mike Garvey's trying to catch them and see if he can do something with them as well. Smokestad with the preferred line on the bottom. Bush just hanging. There's nowhere he can go in the 14 car. And it works to Joe Knott's advantage once again.
Somewhat of a reserved aggressiveness. They know that they have to finish in the top 10 in this event to advance to the 200-lap main event. But each position equals 1 row better because this field will make up the outside rows of the starting grid for the 200-lap event yet this afternoon.
The other advantage we haven't talked about yet is for these drivers in this first race. Of course, we expected that we'd have a bigger gap of time between the second race and when the 200-lapper actually started. Now that we're joining all this live in progress, these guys' window of opportunity to get the cars ready for the 200-lapper is rapidly diminishing for the guys in the second race. So these guys will have a little bit more time to go back and make any adjustments to the car that they really want to do.
Keeping in mind, Mother Nature has not left the area. The Ohio Valley has been riddled with rain all afternoon, and it again may appear yet this afternoon, so there's a time constraint there between the second event and the start of the main, so there's even more of a time crunch for the competitors in the next 50.
Well, there's a big crash in turn 3, and we're stacking them up over there, and Roper, your leader, just lost the front end of his car. There you see the whole front end torn off. It looks like Alec Pinsino in the 93. And is that Cindy Peterson in the blue car? The neon numbers on the top, the 36. And that is heavy, heavy damage to Roper's car. That is going to knock him right out of this.
Mike Stacy's Oldsmobile also involved, but he's able to continue. Now you see the carnage there. Roper obviously dejected, drops the window net. He's okay, but just cosmetic damage, but enough to the point where Tony Roper may have enough points.
I don't think it's just cosmetic damage. It looks like he's done some serious damage to the front suspension. Look, you can see it locked up. He's sliding. He's got it cocked, and there is nowhere for him to go. He has lost the steering at that point. He barely misses Alec, just taps him, but he drills Cindy Peterson.
Sensima takes to the grass. Chet Planton goes around. There's Tony Roper out of it in this 50-lapper.
Tony Roper, a dejected driver. The bull ring, that black horn has jumped up and grabbed one. We'll find out. More from the Buckeye 300 when we come back.
Just how long does a car battery last? About this much time is put into most batteries. But AC-Delco puts in more time, so our batteries last over 20% longer. Well, now there's the Delco Freedom 84, our longest-lasting battery ever. We put in 7 years of guaranteed starts, making it the granddaddy of all batteries.
Hey, my watch!
Win's Extend Supreme Plus is a patented oil supplement especially formulated for today's high-tech engines. Extend helps increase oil life, combats engine wear, and reduces oil oxidation. So next time and every time you have your oil changed, ask for Extend, the supplement that will not void manufacturer's warranties and comes with its own 100,000-mile warranty. Extend Supreme Plus, a Win Oil Company product since 1939. Available at your quality service facility, including Firestone, Goodyear, and Grease Monkeys.
I need my car fixed. Where's your price list?
It's in my head.
Is all that work guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
I can't hear you. What is that noise?
Over at Pep Boys, the prices are there in black and white, and the work is always guaranteed. 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price, tires and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Nobody knows the value of protection better than a quarterback. So take it from me. Your car needs protection from the sun. So don't just use any old stuff on the vinyl and rubber. Shine and protect them with Armor All Protector. Test-proof Armor All blocks up to 4 times more of the sun's damaging UV rays than the #2 brand. Shine's good, but it's not protection. Let's face it, my head shines, but I still wouldn't play without my helmet. So don't just shine your car, armor it with Armor All.
The AC-Delco Challenge Series live on TNN is brought to you by Win Oil Company, makers of quality automotive car care products. Remember, when it's wins, it works. By your GM Goodrich service dealer, we want your business. By Pep Boys, 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price, tires and service too, everything but gas. And by Armor All Protectant. Don't shine your car, armor it with Armor All. There's some of the large crowd that weathered the storm here at Columbus Motor Speedway. As you see Cindy Peterson's car being pulled off. And here's a look at the top 10 with 40 of the 50 laps down. Of course, the one car we thought we'd see at the top of that list, Tony Roper, knocked out the Hard Luck Driver of the Year, gets bid again, Jim.
Last season, he was awarded the trophy for the Hard Luck Award. He had 8 did not finishes or DNFs 4 in a row last season, so he obviously in the hook back in the pit area. Alec Pincino now just getting underway. He spun earlier in the qualifier as well.
Here's another look at it. Now watch Roper's tires.
He's almost in the screen. These are 5 cars battling at the back of this 25-car qualifying
There he
field.
comes, right there.
There he is. There's the black car sliding in. Pincino sideways, Cindy Peterson broadside across the racetrack. Randy Ruhlman also involved. Lapman up to the fence, and the 91 of Stacy. So obviously Roper had nowhere to go. He went to the low side. There was Cindy Peterson and Alec Pincino.
Dave Sensiba got very lucky as the track crew here continues to sweep up the debris down in turn 3. It's almost like one constant turn here, isn't it? It's a 3rd mile oval. It's very flat and very round.
I stood with some of the team members during qualifying yesterday, and I did not see the wheel turn much off of turn number 2 to turn number 3 in qualifying. They go right to the middle of the back straightaway wall, turn it left to turn number 3 as well. So you're right, it's almost a perfect circle once the groove gets established.
So Dave Sensiba continues to lead Joe Knott right on his tail. We've got 40 of 50 laps down in the first qualifier from Columbus. Stay with us, we're coming back.
This is the story of the man in black, and the Goodrich team keeps his car on track. You know their secret's consistency. It's all in the list. And if it takes all night, they'll get it done right. Turn to your GM Goodrich service team for consistency and attention to detail. Their tools, training, equipment, and genuine GM parts let you run with the winners. To build the perfect ride, use a checklist as your guide. And always keep the customer satisfied.
Great big gobs of greasy, slimy garbage scum, icky, sticky, pine-free gum, barbecued, fishy crumbs. Can't remember when I've had such good clean fun. The Coleman Clean Machine. Oh boy, here comes doggy do as thick as fudge, clumps of mud and axle sludge, stuff that used to never budge. Now I think I'll suck it to a hornet's nest. The Coleman Power Made Clean Machine.
The first name in pressure washers.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it.
If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
These people just witnessed an amazing demonstration. We put this Duraloop treated engine through the ultimate torture test. We drained all the oil, all the water, then flooded it with a fire hose. It kept on running because Duraloop protects your engine like no other product can.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself.
Now let Duraloop make a believer out of you. Duraloop, peace of mind in a bottle.
At Citgo, our super premium gasoline will give you the high performance you demand. So prepare yourself to be totally blown away. Super premium performance. Citgo says go.
Welcome back to live TNN Motorsports coverage of the Buckeye 300. This is the first of two Twin 50 qualifiers. We are 5 laps away from the finish. Dave Sensible, car number 4 is your leader. Joe Nato has really been on a charge. Runs in second. Ted Smokestad is third. There's Scott Hansen in fourth. And car 53, Rick Beebe, Mike Garvey run right behind them. Then it's Rick Miller, Bob Seneker.
Tony Raines is on the bubble just behind Buddy Schrock in car number 35, and the white 35 between Seneker and Raines. His first ASA start since 1982. If he makes, in 6.5 years. He's got a 4th place finish to his credit in the white 35 car. Back with the leaders, closing down now. Roger Slack about to unfurl the 2-to-go signal. West Michigan Chevrolet dealers number 4 holding off Joe Knott. Remember, Knott started well back in this field. We mean well back. He started 9th. And in the 50 laps, we had 1 leader taken out by caution, and he worked his way through the field on the outside.
What I've been waiting for is not to go to the outside. That's what got him to where he is, and it's going to take him more than a lap to utilize that outside groove to make it work. And he doesn't seem to want to try it now, Jim. I don't understand that. They got a huge gap back to Smokestad, but he seems pretty comfortable just to sit here. Dave Sensible is going to win the first 50 lapper. Joe Knott will take second. Smokestad, Hansen, Beebe, Garvey, Seneker, Miller, Schrock, and Raines. That should be all the way back to your top 10. Landis, Mike Cofer. That's 11th and 12th.
Mike Stacy finishes 13th. The 14 of Joe Bush 14th. Randy Ruhlman, Chet Blanton, and Gary Grubbs round out the field.
So that is the first of the Twin 50s. Now, you saw earlier Tony Roper had big problems. He led most of the first 50 lapper and then got caught up accidentally in a big problem. Dave Burns, our pit reporter extraordinaire, is here with us once again. And Dave, you got more on the story. Looks like a lot of damage down there.
Well, there's a lot going on here right now, and Tony is intimately involved in it. They've got him working as well on the car. You can see the left side doesn't have much but cosmetic damage on the front end. It's the right side that they are most concerned about. Tony has given them the right suspension arm to replace on the car, and now they're hammering away on that as he runs back and forth for parts. They think they can get the car back in the race. They've got another, hopefully, break here to do that with. But right now, the whole crew going to work on it, and we're just trying to stay out of the way. A lot of activity here, but they think they can get it going again.
I saw Gary St. Amant down there as well, and some of the folks from the Goodwrench crew looked like they were giving a hand. There's Tony talking things over with Gary St. Amant, who knows his way around this racetrack probably better than anybody else who is here. And the other good thing is that they've got another 50-lap race, plus then another little gap shortly after that. So maybe, as you take a look at it once again, see how he gets it locked up here, Jim, and then he just loses all the steering in the car, and he's going nowhere but straight into it.
Look what's ahead of him. The cars are stopped in the racetrack in turn number 3. He had nothing to do there but lock it down, and unfortunately, he was leading at the time. Got a lot of work ahead of him. Gary St. Amant trying to look things over and helping out Tony Roper. St. Amant again, the quick qualifier, pulled off in his qualifying event. All he had to do was take the green flag to guarantee himself a starting spot in the field.
Possibly there you see Tony Roper's dad down there helping him out. Possibly a problem with the spotter. Maybe not giving him enough of a warning. We'll find out when we come back. Dave Sensible set to drive away from victory lane. He's a winner already.
To get the most out of this Indy car, Patrick Racing put Scott Pruitt behind the wheel. They built a team that could get it in and out of the pits in the blink of an eye. And they chose a battery they can depend on to get it started. The Duralast battery from AutoZone. The same Duralast you can depend on to start your car. So don't settle for anything less. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
I can't believe I'm losing my hair back here.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, right.
Look, if you want to regrow some hair, check this out.
Rogaine? Don't you need a prescription?
Not anymore.
How's it work? Rogaine goes to the root of your hair and for some people gets it to grow.
What have you got to lose?
Nothing, I guess, except more hair.
That's been easy to use.
And it's starting to work.
See, there's room for growth in every relationship.
Rogaine, medically proven to regrow hair.
Welcome back to Columbus Motor Speedway. You take a look at the results from the first qualifier. The second qualifier already rolling out. I kind of like this, you know. I mean, you like that first race? Hey, here we go again. We got another one for you right away. Now, Dave Sensible has made his way to our Dave Burns.
Well, Dave, you started 8th out there, and as usual, the 50-lap qualifiers, kind of interesting. How close was your closest call?
We were real close. Me and Tony. Tony was leading there, and we were second. Poor Tony, he got nothing but bad luck. But went down through the dirt and made it through. So, after that, the car got a little tight. I don't know if we bent something or what. We'll see.
Okay, do you want to change anything before the 200-lapper here? Have you told him before you came in here things that you're going to work on?
Yeah, we told him before we come in there that car was getting tighter as the race went on, so we're going to try to loosen it up for the hundreds.
And just for those that want to know, how are you going to loosen it up? Which end are you going to go to here?
We'll try to loosen up the rear end.
Okay, Dave Sensiba, winner of the first 50-lapper. He's going to come back and try to take it home after 200, coming up in a minute.
Now, we talked about spotters and how that could be a problem. There you see some of the spotters, including Eddie Sharp's stat up there in the middle, and some of the others up there as well, getting set for the next 50-lapper. Now, Mr. Sharp is going to be looking for his son, Ed, who's driving car number 50, which is in this race. The spotters are over in turn 2. There's Eddie in the black and yellow number 50. So you can see how far away the spotters will be from where the incident took place in turn number 3. There's the grandstand where the spotters are located at right there. And that incident took place all the way over in turn 3. So, Jim, if there, it was a long way away for a spotter to catch that. Incident might have happened, and before they really get word to Dave or to Tony, it's too late to do anything.
14-second laps, and you've got the middle of the backstretch of turn 3, which is a fraction of a handful of seconds to get that across, and he did what he could. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Well, the second of our B-mains, if you will, Ralph, gearing up, I know, for the Knoxville Nationals live here on TNN. That just like the sprint cars do, we've got 2 B-main events to set the A 200-lap contest here at Columbus Motor Speedway.
The other thing is we've inverted the top 10.
Based on qualifying time, the top 10 cars in this field are the quickest 10. But as you can see, Kevin Sawinski in car number 1, as he goes by right there, the black and yellow, brown and sharp number 1, he's the fastest guy in this field, but he's qualified. Well, actually, he's going to have to start well back in the 5th row.
Dave Burns with Gary St. Amant.
Well, I pulled this guy off the job. He's working on Tony Roper's car behind us here. We grabbed him for just a minute. Gary, I wanted to ask you, there's always so much pressure on here to do well. You won the pole again this year. Do you set for yourself kind of a personal goal every year to sort of show everybody they can get what they expect out of you?
Yeah, Dave, every time we come here, it's definitely high expectations. A lot of laps around this place. It's almost like I expect myself to win. I think a lot of people, they expect us to win also, and it's definitely, like top priority win this race.
Now, you're kind of distracted working with Tony here, and we talked about the fact that having family around kind of distracts you. This doesn't seem to be the kind of distraction that hurts you from racing today.
Oh, no, this is just the opposite of distraction here. This is actually something to take my mind off of, waiting for the race. See Tony out there, running real well. It kind of hurt me, seeing that happen to him. Seems like he's always, always the guy that gets caught up, not his fault. And we're going to try and help him get back in the race. Our wins, Riker, Port Thunderbird, it's sitting over there. I think we're ready to go, and we're over here helping Tony.
All right, back upstairs for Green Flag Racing.
Thank you, Dave. As you can see, the race is already underway. That's Mike Eddy in car 88. It's Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99, and Brad Loney in the 33. Mike Miller in car 18.
Mike Miller running 5th in the Car Cop Pontiac, just ahead of Mike Eddy. This is the second of 2 qualifiers.
Tracy Schuler is your leader. Carl Muscotton in car number 8 runs in 2nd. Eddie Sharp in car 50 runs in 3rd. Remember, this is an inverted start. Bill Baird runs in 4th, car 26. Then Miller, Eddie, Allen, Loney, and the rest after that, including Harold Fair in the CarQuest car number 81. Sawinski in car number 1 dropped right to the back of the line. He is running dead last. Remember, he is already in positions 1 and 2 are locked in from qualifying. He's just getting some laps in to warm the car up, check out the setup, but he's going to stay well clear of any potential trouble.
Mike Miller and Mike Eddy. The red 18 is Mike Miller out of Marietta, Georgia. The 88, Mr. Excitement, Mike Eddy. Heading back into turn number 3. They continue to run single file. That's for the 5th position. Former ASA full-time driver, Glenn Allen Jr., 6th in the Busch Grand National points, making one of his handful of starts in the Simonton Windows Chevrolet. Looks to the inside now of Eddy for 5th.
Leading the rookie points on the Busch Tour. Sporting car number 99 over here. His used to be number in ASA was 15. Rick Beebe now has that number when sporting the 99. That's what his Busch car carries. And he's got Simonton Windows sponsorship on the car. It is actually a team car. Dr. Yale Conley is been running on the ASA Tour for the last few years. A lot of new cars. We had 50 entries here for the Buckeye 300. A lot of new paint schemes, a lot of new numbers. A lot of the new Pontiac body styles especially showing up this weekend as well. We had ASA was able to debut the brand new Pontiac body scheme, the only division outside of the Winston Cup Tour that had it. And look at the battle for second. Eddie Sharp in a brand new Pontiac body, car number 50, going after Carl Muscatton, and trying to get to the bottom. Might be able to take the spot away.
Patience is a virtue here, and it's a 50-lap qualifier to make it in to do 200 laps, but it looks like Eddie Sharp getting a little impatient there with the back of the ASA Auctions Chevrolet of Carl Muscatton. Carl Muscatton a little wide there. See, Ralph, if you get too wide, they might have a hole going into turn 1 on the bottom.
It's interesting, that outside line worked real well for Joe Knott, but it doesn't seem to be doing the trick for Carl Muscatton. Of course, Carl might not have the car set up to work on that outside curve the way Joe did. So Eddie Sharp, if that door can open up just a little bit more, and he's got his sights on sticking that nose of that black and yellow number 50 inside Muscatton, see if he can take over the spot. Eddie's got a brand new teammate here this weekend, Bo Lemler. Oh, and we got a problem here.
Aaron Hopp, first time in a body stock car out of New Palestine, Indiana, takes it behind the fence. That car formerly driven in ASA competition by Scott Neal, so they're having some troubles in their first start in ASA. There's the 8, Carl James again. He's in second. The top 10 cars in this race get locked in for the main event. In third is the 50 of Eddie Sharp out of Concord, North Carolina, and a new Pontiac. In fourth, Bill Baird out of Sturgis, Kentucky. They break their way up.
Oh, and Eddie Sharp gets into the back of Carl Muscatton that time. Picked him up, slid him over. Lifted enough to let Muscatton catch it, but that's going to allow a whole bunch of people by. As the yellow flag comes out, we got one around.
Billy Turner. Billy Turner in the Santa Fe Chevrolet. It looks like he was in traffic, but it went around in turn 2, locked it down. Trying to make his first ASA start in 1996. He was at 5 events a season ago, looking for the Pat Sharp Memorial Rookie of the Year. Cash, $50,000 to the Rookie of the Year in ASA this season. Turner out of Oklahoma, trying to loop it back around to get righted. It's got a long way to row it, a long way to go here, as we can see. These guys are running single file. The tires will heat up. They'll find that second groove, but then it's a matter of the bubble spot. 10th and 11th is what the crowd's going to be watching, and hopefully we'll have some great racing action continuing in this 50-lapper.
Well, now the question becomes, does Eddie Sharp get to lock into second place, or is Carl James going to go back into second? Because as soon as that pass was made, the yellow came out. I don't know if they were able to complete the lap. Waiting to see officially from ASA scoring.
Like in short track racing, they go this qualifying race, only the green flag laps count, so Eddie Sharp will get second spot back.
No,
or actually Carl James
is getting Carl Muscatton. Here's a look at it. You're going to see Eddie Sharp went in a little deep, got into the back of Carl Muscatton, picks him up, slides them. They both get loose. They both catch it and continue on.
Need a wing on that car to keep that thing straight.
So Carl Muscatton gets second place back the hard way. We'll be back the easy way right after this. Stay with us.
At RadioShack, we carry thousands of electronic parts and accessories. Accessories that make what you already own work better, sound better, play better.
Help! Help!
Just tell us what you need.
Help!
We've even got those hard-to-get items. RadioShack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
What can you do to prevent this gray?
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Wood Finish Colors. Natural wood tones block graying, and the waterproofing power of Thompson's protects the wood. Thompson's is protection.
Work boots. There's one place they don't work. Inside, they just don't have much cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
Oh, do your mouth a favor and keep it shut.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Luke Duke.
Is there a doctor in the house? Your prescription for fun. The Dukes, Monday at 4.
We take the bank.
If you're a big country music fan, you want to know who's hot.
It's easy when you know where to turn. Country Music Television's Top 12 Countdown is your chance to see who's on top of the charts and who's coming on strong. Turn on to the Top 12 Countdown, Fridays at 10. Turn on to country. Turn on to genuine CMT. Country Music Television.
DZ, the leader in truck accessories, offers the sleek FX running board line. Designed for today's trucks in extruded black and stainless steel, DZ's quality and style is unmatched. When you need the right parts and accessories, look for the key parts sign or call 1-800-AUTO-PARTS.
23 laps are down in the second of the two Buckeye 300 qualifying races. Eddie Sharp now moves into second place. If you're wondering what happened to Carl Muscatini, he is all the way back in eighth, just in front of Brad Loney. Make that 7. Loney is 8.
Scott is fighting a loose race car. Tracy Schuler, the leader here in the National Bathing Products number 61, has had some good runs here at Columbus Motor Speedway. He ran here in 1994. He knows how to get around this place. Softens the car up quite a bit. But now we go back in the pack here.
Oh, and problems up front. Eddie Sharp and Tracy Schuler get together a little bit. Schuler goes around and Sharp inherits the lead. Well,
first race, Tony Roper gets moved out of first place by an accident. Second race, a little help from Eddie Sharp, and we find the infield mud where Tracy Schuler is currently sitting inside turn number 2. Again, a lot of rain here, so it's going to take a little bit to get him out of there.
Eddie's been running it pretty deep into the corners.
Very much so.
And he went deep into the corner and got into Muscat, and then he went deep into the corner this time and got into Schuler. Let's take a look at it again.
Leader's entering turn 1, a very flat racing surface. He's all the way down on the bottom. Flame is nothing to worry about there. It's just the exhaust cleaning out some fuel. But here's Sharp off the turn, getting underneath the Chevrolet of Schuler. There he goes.
You can see Eddie Sharp got back into the throttle a little bit, about the midway portion of the corner. That's where he thought Tracy Schuler was going to get into the gas, and he didn't. So Eddie Sharp and the new painted Pontiac number 50. And we're trying to figure out if they're going to give the lead back to Schuler. Looks like they are. Now, Kevin Sawinski is already qualified for the 200-lapper. He will start on the outside of row 1 next to Gary St. Amant. He took the option and pulled out of here early. All they have to do is take 1 lap under green, and they actually qualify for the 200 if they've already locked your position in. Dave Burns is standing by with him.
Yeah, we caught up with Kevin, and he has obviously exercised that option to drop out early and come back here and work on his car. Kevin, you're not out there mixing it up, so you haven't got a lot of damage or anything on your car. Is there anything you want to change at this point?
Yeah, you know, the weather's changed quite a little bit from practice on Friday and a little bit of moisture today. We're going to change the car, tighten it up just a little bit for the race. We got about 10, 15 laps out there in this qualifying race and found some stuff out, so we're going to give that a shot and see how we do in the 200.
Now, Kevin, you start on the outside row, and so you've got to find a way down to the inside real quick. When are you going to look for your first opening?
Well, I don't know. You know, Gary's got a lot of laps around this place, so we're just happy to be on the front row with St. Amant. Hopefully, we can get down in, second, third, somewhere in the top 5 and really try to be patient and mix it up towards the end of the race.
Now, Kevin pulled his car out, but also Gary St. Amant. He went 10 laps before pulling the wins for Thunderbird out of competition. He sits behind us as well, and his car is ready to go. Gary's ready for the 200-lapper.
That is a car that Jay Sauter drove in years past. In fact, Jay has 4 top 20 finishes here in that number 1. So Sawinski's got himself a good race car, grew up on racetracks very similar to this. So he should feel right at home here. You're looking at the battle for the lead. Schuler still has that. Eddie Sharp sits second, then Bill Baird, Mike Miller, Mike Eddy, who is looking for his 3rd win here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. And behind Mike comes Glenn Allen Jr. And you can see Schuler is a little bit slower through the turn, and that is really causing a problem back behind him because Eddie Sharp, it seems, wants to get in that throttle earlier, like his car is hooking up better in the middle of the turn, and they can't utilize the throttle the way they want to. There's the battle between Loney and the 33, Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99. That's your battle for 6th. And Harold Fair of the new CarQuest sponsor, number 81. new sponsor on Loney's car, too. It's called Fun Saver. They brought a few of those up here. Boy, those are comfy.
Little cushion. They had developed it through hunting for the hunters that sit out for hours waiting for the deer to go by. Well, there's a lot of race fans that sat here through the rain this afternoon that wouldn't mind those right about now.
Glenn Allen trying to get to the inside, and they got together a little bit. Loney's going to go sliding up out of the groove. He'll lose one spot. Harold Fair may be going to try to put that CarQuest machine inside of him, too, but won't be able to do it.
Loney running in 7th. 8th is Harold Fair. 9th is car number 74, Kenny Sword, who's got some laps on this racetrack. 10th is the House lubricator car of Dennis Berry.
That's the 74 right there is Sword. And Berry.
It's kind of like Gary Santamont's car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They acquired that car for this race from Gary Santamont's team.
Here's another look at what happened to Brad Loney. Watch as Glenn Allen and Loney get together going into the turn just a little bit.
Loney was very lucky there that he had enough rubber laid down on the outside groove to save that car, because we saw in the first race a number of spots were lost by Tony Raines when he got that far outside. Could not gather back in as quickly.
And we've got one around over in turn number 2.
Greg Freed spins is Monte Carlo over in turns 1 and 2. Greg did not qualify at Lakeland, Florida earlier this year. He's now trying to make it through this qualifier here at Columbus Motor Speedway. So Freed has his work cut out for him as he brings out the caution. The Plymouth, Michigan driver. As you can see, the backside of his Red Wings number 80 getting back around.
Big fan of the Detroit Red Wings is Craig Freed. Guess we know who he's cheering for in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tracy Schuler, your leader here at Columbus.
If you have one of these, or one of these, or even one of these, then you own the engine to the most powerful, most useful tool ever invented. Introducing the ROTO 7 Power Disc, a disc so strong it can cut through this hardened steel file. It can even power through this brick. ROTO 7 zips through copper pipe in no time and even cuts through masonry with ease. The tempered carbide disc cuts right through this iron chain and shears off any nail in its path. ROTO 7 not only breezes through ceramic tiles, but even makes rounded corners quickly and easily. And look, put the power disc on your circular saw, and you can cut smoothly through Formica. ROTO 7 won't ever bind or kick back, and it won't chip your work. It always leaves a clean, smooth edge. Cutting PVC with a hacksaw can take forever, but the power disc zips right through it in seconds. Yet cutting is just the beginning. Your ROTO 7 will sharpen your hand tools, sharpen your garden tools, and even sharpen your lawnmower blade. Install it on a bench grinder and you can grind just about anything. All your work comes out clean and burr-free. The Power Disc is the best disc you can get. It'll never break or shatter. You get not one, but 2 Power Discs for only $19.95. But wait, order now and we'll also include this ROTO 7 sanding disc. You won't find a better sander anywhere. And look how easily it strips away old paint. Ordinary sanding discs keep clogging up, but ROTO 7's open mesh construction keeps it running smoothly, cleanly, clog-free. You get both power discs, plus the sanding disc, all for only $19.95. So order your ROTO 7 Power Discs now.
Call toll-free 1-800-346-3000. That's 1-800-346-3000. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus shipping and handling to ROTO 7, 2 Morgan Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut. For fastest delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-346-3000.
We have just gone back to green here at Columbus, but we want to remind you about NHRA today. Normally you would be able to see it at 4:30 this afternoon. You can see it tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in for all the latest NHRA Winston Drag Racing Championship news. My good buddy Steve Evans there to bring it all to you. It's all right here on TNN Motorsports. Doesn't get any closer than that. Just 11 laps to go. Eddie Sharp and the distinctive truck accessories number 50 has been all over the backside of Tracy Schuler in the Appleton back entry.
There he goes.
Oh, and they get together again. Schuler back into the infield. You see the 02 sliding into the infield as well, and the yellow flag is out once again in Roger Slack's hands.
Bill Massich in the 02 was running in the 12th position. He had a shot at making this field. He's not been in ASA competition until today. The B&L Truck Caps car now gets righted, but Phil has got to be disappointed. He spun well after the 61 car got in the infield, but the spin to avoid might have cost him a lot of track position. Tracy Schuler and Eddie Sharp already had their disagreement earlier this race. Over in turn number 2, Schuler was placed back in the front of the field.
Let's take a look at it again and see. Remember, we've said earlier that Eddie Sharp in the Distinctive Truck Accessories number 50 was getting off through the middle of the turns better, and again, he gets through that middle section so much quicker, and Schuler is not getting through as quick. Of course, it's still the responsibility of the driver in second, even though he's quicker through there. He has got to be at the pace of the leader so he doesn't take him out.
Look at this, a matter of driving style. Sharp back on the gas quicker than Tracy Schuler. Schuler smoother on the gas in and gas out of the corners, but that time around, Sharp was on the gas, looking to go through the 61 car, and indeed, there was the Appleton wrecking number 61 of the infield. But you can see Sharp goes in the corner a lot deeper, comes off the corner a lot sooner, using up a lot of brake. It's a 50-lap event. I don't think that style will last for 200, which will be coming up next year on TNN. But Schuler a lot smoother on the gas. The car isn't dipping down as much, where you can see he's actually rolling in and rolling out of the gas, using the brake very gingerly, whereas Eddie Sharp's going in, punching the brake, getting back on the gas as soon as he can.
39 laps are down. It's scheduled for 50, and then, of course, the 200 lap are coming up right after that. Schuler, Sharp, Baird, Mike Miller, Mike Eddy. That's your top five. Glenn Allen Jr., Brad Loney, Harold Baird, Dennis Berry, Kenny Short. Your top 10, Carl Muscott runs in 11th. He led this thing early on for quite a while. Ran in second for quite a while as well.
I'd like to point out Phil Massich did get his 12th spot back. He did spin to avoid the incident over in turns 3 and 4, so he lined back up in 12th. He's one spot behind Scott in 11th. He's got to advance one position to make it in the main.
All right, here's the problem area in the turns again. You can see Mike Eddy at the top of the street, by the way, trying that outside groove as he battles with Glenn Allen. That's the battle for 5th position.
I think Glenn kind of forced Mike Eddy to the outside, because as soon as Eddy lost that spot, he dropped right back down to the bottom, so it was not an advancement on Eddy's part, but it's actually a good move by Glenn Allen Jr. visiting the ASA series here in Columbus, where he scored his initial ASA victory in 1991.
We will get to see Glenn Allen Jr. back in competition on the AC-Delco Challenge Series Tour a few more times this year. In fact, I believe he'll be with us next weekend in Toledo, the Glass City 300. Now, he goes to the outside. That could be a bad move, because Mike Eddy's going to stick that Goodwrench Pontiac right inside, and he's not going to give Lenny a whole lot of room. That could cost Glenn Allen Jr. that position.
6 laps now, 5.5 remain in this qualifying event. A 50-lap qualifier prelude to the 200-lap finale here in Columbus.
Dave, what do you think about Glenn Allen Jr. going to the high side there?
Well, yesterday we saw him during practice running that high line, and it almost looked as if he was ready to go onto the pit lane. He was running so high, so I believe Glenn was testing it yesterday. Looks like he's trying to put it into practice now.
It's costing him right now. We saw it work real well for Joe Knott, but it's not helping Glenn Allen Jr. a whole lot at this point. Of course, the one thing Mike Eddy he's got a problem with is if Mike Miller doesn't slide far enough up for Mike Eddy to stick just enough of the nose there.
They're comfortably in the field, the top 10 cars, making in the main event. That's 5th and 6th again, side by side. Eddy does get the advantage there, but
they're going around, and Glenn Allen Jr. backs into the wall. Lots of damage to the back end of that car. Barry goes into the left front quarter panel of Mike Eddy. Dr. Yale Conley went through the infield as well, and Phil Massich in the 02, which is a former Mike Eddy championship winning car, has problems as well. Look at the damage to the back of Glenn Allen Jr.'s car.
He locked it down, but there was nowhere to go there. They touched it. It almost looked like their side wheels. They touched the, where it says Goodyear Racing Eagle on the side of the tire. They touched almost equally front and rear tires, and that sent both around.
Now, Mike Eddy had slid to his stop in the infield. Let's take a look at this again.
This is down the front straightaway now, just past start finish. As they come into the corner, Glenn's a little bit out of shape, but not too bad. Mike Eddy going into the turn on the inside groove. They touch. Glenn goes outside, hard into the wall.
Now watch Dennis Berry slide right into Mike Eddy. I was wondering if that was going to do just not enough damage, because when Mike came by here, it didn't look like there was a whole lot of damage to the car. Here's another look at it.
Just enough to get the car upset, and there goes Glenn. I mean, he went into the corner a little bit out of shape, trying to get the position back on Mike. They got together, and
Barry just taps it. You can see the car of Mike Eddy move. And one more look at it. Boy, our camera crew doing another great job. We've got it from every conceivable angle here today.
Touched just enough to get the cars upset that the weight transfer was all mixed up there as they went into the turn.
Well, you know, you have so much weight shifted to the outside of the car. In qualifying, some of the drivers were completely picking up the inside wheel. There's a look at Glenn Allen Jr.'s car. Simon took crew, including Glenn Allen Sr., taking a look at it. We're coming back for more at Columbus.
AC-Delco knows that as a car gets older, its engine runs rougher. So we developed a spark plug to help bring back new car feel, and things really gelled. Rapid Fire from AC-Delco. It makes an engine idle up to 27% smoother and accelerate with up to 18% quicker throttle response. Rapid Fire. Its performance ought to have the competition shaken.
Nobody knows the value of protection better than a quarterback. So take it from me. Your car needs protection from the sun. So don't just use any old stuff on the vinyl and rubber. Shine and protect them with Armor All Protector. Test-proof Armor All blocks up to 4 times more of the sun's damaging UV rays than the #2 brand. Shine's good, but it's not protection. Let's face it, my head shines, but I still wouldn't play without my helmet. So don't just shine your car, armor it with Armor All.
Pete Conrad, Apollo 12 astronaut, just broke the world speed record for a round-the-world flight. Pete, what's your secret?
To break records, you need performance and reliability. That's why Duralube's in every one of my engines.
Pete knows that Duralube engine treatment reduces friction in your car engine, increasing fuel mileage, reducing engine wear, and increasing your engine's life. Duralube is not just an engine treatment. It's tomorrow's technology, today.
Today on TNN Outdoors, inside angles on angling from the man who started the fishing show explosion. That's what we get, fishing with Orlando Wilson. From the latest in rod and reels to how best to use them, Fishing with Roland Martin covers it all. We'll learn the secret to catching bragging bass when we scan Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. And the World Championships at stake as we follow the Bassmasters Tournament Trail. Today, TNN Outdoors. Tuesday, April 30th on TNN. It's the night of the year when today's country music artists pay loving tribute to the Hall of Fame members who paved the way. Join Mark Chestnut, Joe Diffie, Vince Gill, Emmylou Harris, Shelby Lynn, Aaron Tippin, Steve Wariner, Trisha Yearwood, and many more. The 3rd annual Evening of Country Greats, Tuesday, April 30th at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Columbus, Ohio. That's your winner. Unfortunately, due to the rain being in the area, they couldn't wait for us to come back. They had to get them going again so we could hurry up and get to the 200 lapper, but nothing happened since when we left you. They came back to green, and everybody played follow the leader to the checkers. Here's the last lap. You can see it was still Tracy Schuler, Eddie Sharp, Bill Baird, just the way they were when we left you. And that's the way they finished. Mike Miller right behind him in 4th. Mike Eddy 5th, Brad Loney 6th. Then Harold Fair, Dennis Berry, Kenny Sword, and Carl Muscott in your top 10. Bill Massich, Yale Conley, and the rest. As Tracy Schuler climbs out of the car. And Howard Thomas is in the back paddock area waiting for Mike Eddy to arrive, and Dave Burns has something with him.
Well, Ralph, you all saw what happened to Mike on the track. Got a little bit greasy out there, but Howard, I understand that isn't Mike's biggest problem right now. You're a little short on gears.
Yeah. All the gears are gone out of the transmission except for 4th gear, so I may have to try and change the transmission.
Okay, and has ASA told you, do you still have 30 minutes to do that, or is it going to be less time than that?
I have no idea. Last I heard it was 30 minutes.
Well, how much time does that normally take?
Oh, it's going to be pretty hot, so hopefully we can get it done in 30 minutes.
All right, it's going to be fast and furious. I better let you go because he's got to work for Mike here and get him back on the track. We're about ready to go 200 laps. They will have a little bit of a break here, and guys, I don't know. Are they going to shorten that up given the weather, or is that still going to be 30 minutes?
Well, we're waiting to hear that exact thing, Dave, as we watch Tracy Schuler down there taking his Victory Lane pictures. And he'll take the 61 Appleton car back into the pit area and get the car going as quick as he can. We're hearing it is 30 minutes between now and the start. 200 lapper. Stay with us. We've got 200 more laps for you from Columbus.
Hurry into Pep Boys, where right now you can get any 4 all-season 35,000-mile tires for just $109. Any size, any 4 35,000-mile tires in stock, $109. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
What can you do to prevent this gray?
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Wood Finish Colors. Natural wood tones block graying, and the waterproofing power of Thompson's protects the wood. Thompson's is protection.
Imagine your feet are under attack by many flesh-eating predators. That's athlete's foot. To cure them all, you have to kill them all. Lotrimin AF. Full prescription-strength medicine. The brand doctors recommend most. Lotrimin AF, the killer cure.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Welcome back to the Columbus Motor Speedway. That's a live shot of the third-mile oval here. Everybody's made their way to the hot dog stand to get something to eat while we've got a short break here. We just completed the second of the 250-lap twin qualifiers for the Buckeye 300. Jim Tretto joins me now here in the booth, and we didn't expect to be able to bring you that. We thought we'd be joining you getting set to go racing with the 200-lapper, but because of rain in the area, well, we got to give you a little bonus coverage here today, and it kind of worked out great. I think we got to see some of what we can expect later on. The high groove is there. It worked for Joe Nonnett. The car is set up for it. The bottom groove still seems to be the way to go. But if you're set up to run up top, you might be able to do something with it, Jim.
That might be the place. This is a very unique race to the American Speed Association and the AC-Delco Challenge Series. It's a 250-lap qualifying races and a 200-lap finale making up 300 laps. This is also the only racetrack and the only venue and the only event where the ASA series has said drivers do not have to make one mandatory pit stop. So we may or may not see pit stops in this event. So I would think track positioning and trying to get your car working on the outside might be the advantage to passing, getting back in line on this very tight third mile.
That was a huge issue when it came to qualifying. Sawinski and Gary St. Amant were just thrilled to be starting on the front row. Gary St. Amant telling us, as you heard probably earlier today live on race day, that he thought starting up front would give him that added advantage when it came to that pit stop. So let's take a look at how the finishing order went in those two twin 50s, because this is really going to come into play. You see Schuler, Eddie Sharp. Well, this is actually race number 2, the one that just finished. Eddie Sharp survives after a couple of scrapes with Muscatton and with Schuler to get a second-place finish here. Bill Baird, Mike Miller, Mike Eddy, who is looking for his third win. Nobody has won 3 races here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. Let's check in now with Dave Burns.
Well, a guy who exited a little bit sooner than he would have liked to. Glenn, I understand got a little bit dicey out there for you.
Yeah, you know, it was sprinkling and got on the outside there trying to get some positions. First 3 cars were pretty slow, but they were in the groove on the bottom, which is tough to pass through with it sprinkling on the outside. And Mike tried it, lost the position, and then I tried it. He got back underneath me, and I thought we were going to catch the 18 car, but he kept moving up a little bit, getting in the corner. And Simon's Window Chevrolet run awful good for us. You know, I just feel bad for the guys that built a brand new car. It was a great car. It just, you know, track conditions kept us from going to the front a little bit, but overall the car really worked good.
Glenn, we saw you running the high line yesterday in practice. I mean, really high. Did you have the car set up to run there today?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough to pass on the bottom because nobody gives up the bottom, but the rain on the upper groove definitely didn't help things. So, but just a racing accident, you know, he took a little more than I wanted to give, I guess. I don't know how he's seen it, but he'll call it a racing accident, so I will say.
All right, Glenn Allen Jr., we'll see him at Toledo next.
All right, David, thank you. There's a look back into the paddock area here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. And let's show you now the top 10 of race number 1 of the 250-lap qualifiers. Dave Sensible was the winner there for Tony Roper. Big problems for him. Looked like he had this one in the bag. Scott Hansen and Rick Beebe round out the top 5. Mike Garvey back with us once again. He'll come home in 6th. Seneca, Miller, Schrock, and the rest rounding out as you take a look at this third mile oval that is celebrating its 50th anniversary of being open for business. It's one of the biggest sporting attractions in the area of Columbus. Some of the crowd weathering the elements here today. We've had rain all the way reported back into Indiana. So those TNN Motorsports umbrellas being sold rapidly off the TNN souvenir truck everybody hoping that maybe the rain will stay away from 200 more laps of racing. It should only take us about an hour to actually get the 200 laps in, 14-second laps. It's a third of a mile. Should be able to get quite a few laps in pretty quickly once we get into the 200 lapper here.
With the minimal precipitation we have here, it's pretty important for these safety trucks to stay on the racetrack just to make sure that track stays dry. There's a lot of heat built up from the racing tires and a lot of action out there with the race cars themselves, so important for those guys to continue to circle.
Tracy Schuler, the winner of qualifying race number 2, stands by with Dave Burns.
Tracy, you won the second qualifier out there, but there was a little contact to be had. You got to feel glad to get out of that one with the whole car.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was kind of rough going. We were just kind of wanting to finish that race, get it over with. It was a light drizzle out there the whole race, and by the time the leader come around, there had been a couple of seconds where no cars had run over the track, and there's, the track was a little bit damper, so we were just wanting to be careful and, protect that inside because there was nothing in the second groove.
Now, Tracy, your crew appears to be fairly relaxed. Anything you're changing on the car at all? Any damage to it?
Yeah, no damage. There was just cosmetic. We have to do some stagger changes, and I don't know how you adjust to the rain, but we're going to have to give it a try.
If you look over Tracy's left shoulder, he's next to Eddie Sharp again, and they're pitted right next to each other, so we'll see how that pans out throughout the afternoon.
So the Lockport, Illinois driver, Tracy Schuler, is the winner already today, but he wants to be the winner, the Buckeye 300. That's coming up. Stay with us.
At RadioShack, we carry thousands of electronic parts and accessories. Accessories that make what you already own work better, sound better, play better.
Help! Help!
Just tell us what you need.
Help!
We've even got those hard-to-get items. RadioShack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Monday, get your front row seat. Showing host Ricky Skaggs, Pam Tillis, Tim Ritchie, and Marcus Holland. CMT presents Monday Night Concerts, 8 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
I never thought I could make a hand-cut dovetail joint until I picked up Cabinet Making, the first volume of The Art of Woodworking. In it, you'll learn the secrets of frame and panel assembly, how to add decorative touches such as moldings, and discover how to save yourself time and money with handy jigs you can make at home. You'll find that the other spiral-bound volumes each contain more practical advice from the world's finest woodworkers.
Call this toll-free number now to order cabinet making, specially priced at just $9.99. Use your credit card and get this video, Shop Secrets from Master Craftsman, absolutely free. Future woodworking volumes will arrive about once a month at the regular price of $19.99. Keep only those you want, cancel anytime, and keep the free video as our gift.
The Art of Woodworking gives you the confidence to tackle any project with the results you'll be proud of.
To order, call 1-800-382-4664 and ask for cabinet making for just $9.99 plus shipping and handling. To get your free video, have your credit card ready. Call now.
What we don't want to see is rain coming out of that sky. The American Speed Association and the AC-Delco Challenge Series is racing once again. Round number 2 here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. We don't have rain in the area right now. It's not actually falling, but we do keep the trucks out on the course today just because we want to keep heat in that racetrack in case it does start to drizzle. We are just in the middle of waiting for the racing to get back underway with the 200-lapper yet to come. But the Wynn's winning move is what we're going to show you right now. This one comes from Lakeland, Florida. It involves car number 48, the Valvoline back Ford Thunderbird of Joe Knott. Out at Lakeland, Joey Knott was having a great day. He was in early with some problems, but the crew got to work on it. They had a plug wire come off. Chris Bradley and the bunch got to work. Joe Knott came back out on the course, came home 5th behind the race winner, Mike Eddy. That is our Wynn's winning move for this week. Each week we'll do that, and it'll be a highlight of the past race. So next week, when we bring you live coverage of the Glass City 300 from Toledo, Ohio, which will be on about 2 p.m. Eastern Time live here on TNN. Right there, TNN on ASA. Thank you. That's one of the best graphics of the day. Hey, Dave Burns, you got Eddie Sharp, who's been involved with a whole bunch of problems here already today.
Well, Eddie's been driving pretty hard out there. We heard from Tracy Schuler on the incident out there. Eddie, what was going on? You were running it pretty hard out there.
Well, when you got 20 of the best short track racers bringing down your neck, you know, you got to kind of get it going. We're just trying to be calm and smooth and set a rhythm. And there's no top groove in this racetrack right now because of the rain, and I wanted to stay on the bottom and just, you get a rhythm going, and I don't know if Tracy had trouble up off the corner or what. My car was working so good. And, I mean, I was on the brakes trying to keep from hitting him, and it was just a racing incident. I would never do that on purpose on the racetrack.
Did you feel like anybody was going to try you on the outside, though? Were they starting to make those moves, or?
No, my spotter does a pretty good job of keeping me informed of what's going on, and a couple of guys had tried it. When the likes of Mike Eddy try to step out and he realized it's not there, that's good enough for me, and I know I'm not even going to think about it.
Well, we talked about the format being tough. Obviously, Eddie was out there running, just trying to stay ahead.
All right, Dave, thanks. Eddie Sharp finished 4th in ASA rookie points for the Pat Shaw Rookie of the Year award last year. A good look at Ed. The new distinctive truck accessories back car number 50. It is a Pontiac. As we mentioned earlier, Eddie's got a new teammate, Bo Lemler, who comes out of Southern California. Spent a lot of time road racing in the IMSA series. In fact, remember the Lotuses that ran in IMSA?
Yeah.
And wasn't the World Challenge Series?
IMSA GTP? Or prior to that?
No, it wasn't the GT division. Anyway, it's more like a showroom stock class. Anyway, Bo got to drive in that division, did quite well out there in road racing, and now is trying his hand at the American Speed Association. It is Bo's first race behind the wheel of an ASA car, and he is actually driving the car that Eddie used to drive. It is now numbered as the 05. It is a Ford Thunderbird. Eddie got himself a brand new Port City chassis and has put a Pontiac body on it, as have a lot of people. The Pontiac body, the Grand Prix body, seems to be the most popular one here in ASA racing. And Pontiac, as a manufacturer, is looking for their 3rd Manufacturer's Cup, which would be unheard of in this division.
3rd in a row, and there's money behind the reasons why some of these teams switched to Pontiac, including Brad Loney and Ted Smokestad. Pontiac has put up $4,000 to each race winner. If you happen to cross the finish line running the Chief, you get $4,000. If you happen to qualify on the pole and win the race, Pontiac and Pontiac only puts manufacturer money up for that. It's an additional $4,000. So if you run a Chevrolet or a Pontiac, it could be just a body style. They run the same engines, GM engines, but could be $4,000 more in the pocket if indeed you can do it from the pole.
That was Gary St. Amont's mom sitting up in the grandstand having some fun, waving at everybody, I would say back home, but they are home. They are from right here in Columbus, Ohio. Here's a look at the schedule that is coming up with the AC-Delco Challenge Series. The next race is live from Toledo, Ohio, the Glass City 300. That'll be coming up next Sunday. You can see it right here on TNN. That'll have a 2 o'clock start, so make sure you tune back in to catch that. And then we move on to IRP. Really looking forward to that. Get to bring you that one as well live. Then it's up to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Just outside of there is where you will find Marne, Michigan, and the racetrack known as Berlin. That one will not be on television, but basically everything else you see there will be. I-70 Speedway in Odessa, Missouri. We're going to Cedar Rapids twice this year. Looking forward to that. Brad Loney is, I know for sure. That's his neck of the woods. Jennerstown, Pennsylvania will be there twice as well. La Crosse, Wisconsin, going there for the first time. That's close to you. You'll probably drive to that one, won't you?
I certainly will, and I think one of the guys to watch at that event early on, Kevin Sawinski. A lot of laps at that racetrack.
Buffalo, New York, going there for the first time as well. We will have live TNN coverage from there. Back to Berlin on August 10th. You'll see that one live on television as well. Then we move on to the back half of the schedule. Anderson, Indiana, the actual home of the American Speed Association. That is actually owned and operated by the Robbins family. We'll have 400 laps on that high bank quarter mile. Then it's to Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the biggest track the ASA Series will run in 1996, the mile. So the Minnesota State Fairgrounds in St. Paul, Minnesota, the only race that is run on that beautiful half mile. Once a year they open it up to racing. And the American Speed Association is the series that gets to race there.
Mark Martin will be also joining the ASA guys in Minnesota.
4-time champion of the American Speed Association. Kaukauna, Wisconsin, will go back there for the second time. We went there last year for a debut race, which really turned out to be a great event. We'll have that one for you here live on TNN. as we will also show you racing from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and Toledo, Ohio for their second events. Salem, Indiana, the High Banks at Salem return to the ASA Series. The track was closed last year. We were unable to go there. It has been bought, reopened, greatly improved.
A lot of improvements,
ASA
yes.
will be back there in October. Jennerstown, where we've been wrapping up the season the last couple of years, we'll go back there for our second visit, and then a new date. Now, this is a bit of a change. You probably were expecting to see Lakeland, Florida, listed there on November 17th. This week, the American Speed Association announced that Kenly, North Carolina, I'll get to drive to this one, Southern National Speedway. It's a beautiful, brand new half mile. It's only been open about 2 years. And we're going to wrap up our season there, the first time the American Speed Association has raced in the Tar Heel State. So there's the schedule. Make sure you write it down. ASA coming to a racetrack near you. We're coming right back.
If you settle for a remanufactured engine without a brand name, be sure you've got a pair of name brand shoes. AC-Delco engines, the national brand name with the nationwide warranty. Call for a location near you. Of course, if you come in on foot, we'll understand.
Wynn's Extend Supreme Plus is a patented oil supplement especially formulated for today's high-tech engines. Extend helps increase oil life, combats engine wear, and reduces oil oxidation. So next time and every time you have your oil changed, ask for Extend, the supplement that will not void manufacturer's warranties and comes with its own 100,000-mile warranty. Extend Supreme Plus, a Wynn Oil Company product since 1939. Available at your quality service facility, including Firestone, Goodyear, and Grease Monkeys. The Grass Terminator is here. The Grass Terminator uses a unique multi-edged line with as many as 12 different cutting edges. And watch, even if the outer edges get worn away, the inner edges take over and keep on cutting. Your trimmer line actually sharpens as you use it. The Grass Terminator comes with a retractable recessed head that protects the line and keeps it from breaking.
Available at finer home improvement centers and retailers worldwide.
Hi, I'm Rick Benjamin. Tonight on Race Day, we'll recap all the Winston Cup action for you from Talladega. Also, the kart Indy cars at Nazareth will let you know if Jimmy Vasser could keep it going. Formula One and the short tracks, too, tonight on Race Day.
Race Day, tonight, 10 p.m., 9 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Well, we're just patiently waiting the start of the 200-lap portion that makes up the Buckeye 300. Marking the spots, that's Roger Slack, the official starter of the American Speed Association. Roger's going out writing the numbers down where everybody will line up. We are not experiencing any problems here. We're just waiting for the thing to get underway. They're supposed to give the drivers about a half hour, and then we'll be set to go racing. You know, the Columbus Motor Speedway is enjoying its 50th anniversary of being open for competition. Earlier, Dave Burns had an opportunity to talk to the Knuckles family about this great little racetrack.
Columbus Motor Speedway was organized in 1945 by the late John Knuckles and a group of motorcycle enthusiasts who carved out a 1/3 mile true oval on the southeast edge of town. They held their first motorcycle event in 1946. The track was paved in 1957, opening up the program for stocks and supermodifieds. Throughout the 50-year history of the track, the family element has remained constant, and though fond memories of the track run deep through the Knuckles family, second-generation owner Jim Knuckles can attest that things haven't always been so easy.
What kind of business you're in, you have your down times where you get tired, and certain people start bitching at you, and you take it for so long, and then you look around and start adding the pluses and minuses, and the pluses come up so much.
One of my, I guess, memories that stuck in my mind is an evening when there was a fellow that raced here that was kind of a wild and crazy guy. He and my father got into an argument in the middle of the infield, and he decided to get out of the car, and my dad chased him around the infield for few minutes, and that was, people were all hollering, hooting. It was kind of enjoyable, I suppose.
I was probably 7 or 8 years old, working, handing total cards outside the gate. We used to have a game of chance that involved picking the feature winners and the first through 5 places. I did that, I think, for $3 a night, and when I was that old.
I'm the eldest brother, so my memories probably go back a little further than the others, and I remember the competition on the dirt track and having favorites and screaming and hollering and listening to the fans go crazy, and it was that's, I guess, the thing I remember is the competition with some of the old timers in the 50s and early 60s.
The history of Columbus Motor Speedway also runs deep with the St. Amonts, Columbus natives and one of ASA's prominent families.
When I was young, I was the kid crawling around underneath the grandstands, collecting cups and stacking them up, see how tall of a stack we could get, and it's always been a good place to come to watch races.
I can remember when the pits was at the other end, and I was small enough to get in one of their quarter midgets, and I was driving at the time, but I was very small. But I can remember that very well, and we've been good friends with the Knuckles family for a long time.
The Knuckles men have not been without support. Jeff Knuckles suffered a violent accident while racing in 1984, and wife Cindy defied statistics to the contrary and stood by her man.
When he got injured, we'd only been married about 1 year and 10 months, and so we went through the whole hospital, 6 months of hospitalization. And I don't know, when we came out of it, we were told those statistics, but it just never seemed to be an issue. We do everything everybody else does, just you do things a little different. You can't go to a lot of restaurants and stuff. So I don't know. It just he's my best friend and my husband, and we just always have been together.
We've played together here when the boys have ran. We've had a quarter midget track here, and they played here. We've worked together, and it keeps our family one. And to me, that's the most important thing in your life, is be with your family and work and play with them.
Certainly one of the best family-run operations you'll find anywhere in the world of professional motorsports. The Knuckles family doing a great job celebrating 50 years of open doors here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. And one guy who has taken quite a bit of money out of this place is Mike Eddy, the 7-time champion, American Speed Association. Number 88, get that transmission fixed yet, Dave?
Well, first of all, we're cheating a little bit. We're under the awning here because the rain is starting to come down just a bit more. But Mike has said that they are not going to go after the transmission. Mike, I understand you only have 4th gear. Is that enough to run here?
Yeah, you run a low enough gear here. That 4th gear is plenty. It's just that I don't know why it broke. It's a brand new tranny. I guess that's probably one of the reasons.
And Mike, out there, it was a little bit slick when you came together with Glenn Allen Jr. Was it too slick to be racing on?
Well, it was plenty slick, and I tried the outside, couldn't make it. Glenn tried it, and then we ended up getting together. I guess that's just racing. We're trying too hard on a wet racetrack.
Now, how about a restart during the 200 lapper here? If you're up on the outside, are you really going to have to feather foot it off of the 4th corner?
Well, yeah, guy's going to have to be careful for a while, but I don't know if we're going to have a start today.
Yeah, he's been playing weather predictor down here, saying he grew up in Michigan. He knows about these long rains. We're going to wait it out, but Mike is a little pessimistic right now.
Well, Mike kind of dodged around. I think what we were thinking about there was the restarts with that car only having a 4th gear. Could be a little tough to get that Good Wrench Pontiac up to speed. We'll see if we can get anybody up to speed when we come back.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over because you control the flow of paint. So you can just keep on rolling. In fact, with the power roller and its accessories, you'll get professional results nearly twice as fast. It even turns cleanup into an easy job. So get a cordless power roller from Wagner and transform every room in your house.
What can you do to prevent this gray?
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Wood Finish Colors. Natural wood tones block graying, and the waterproofing power of Thompson's protects the wood. Thompson's is perfection.
Skill Power Tools make such quick work of all your projects. You'll find time to get out there and work on all kinds of things. Skill Power Tools. Think of all the things you can do.
I can't believe I'm losing my hair back here.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, right.
Look, if you want to regrow some hair, check this out.
Rogaine? Don't you need a prescription?
Not anymore.
How's it work? Rogaine goes to the root of your hair, and for some people, gets it to grow.
What have you got to lose?
Nothing, I guess, except more hair.
That's been easy to use.
And it's starting to work.
See, there's room for growth in every relationship.
Rogaine, medically proven to regrow hair.
At Citgo, our super premium gasoline will give you the high performance you demand. So prepare yourself to be totally blown away. Super premium performance. Citgo says go.
Tonight, Motor Trend Television checks out the 96 International Auto Show in Detroit for an in-depth look at the new cars and trucks you can expect to see in showrooms next year and next century. Then we'll put Chevrolet's new 3-door full-size pickup through its paces, including our test of GM's unique mobility program modifications.
The cutting edge of automotive journalism. Motor Trend Television. Tonight, only on TNN Motorsports.
Well, the umbrellas are out here at the Columbus Motor Speedway. A few raindrops have been falling. Things have gotten a little bit wet. But the crews are out there trying to dry the racetrack, and we were giving them a little bit of time to get ready anyway. There's some of those great racing electronics headsets. How would you like to really be a part of the race team? Well, Racing Electronics, the official communications equipment supplier to the American Speed Association, is giving away a Uniden Bearcat scanner along with a 1-year Racers Frequency membership on each ASA telecast here on TNN. To enter this drawing, send your name and address on a postcard to Racing Electronics, Box GFS, 8701 Mallard Creek Road, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28262. Now, today's winner is Arthur Sitko from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Congratulations, Arthur. Enjoy your scanner from Racing Electronics. Now, Tony Roper has had a real up-and-down day, and he is standing by with Dave Burns. Are they getting any closer, Dave?
Well, I think you're taking a look at the front of their car there. They've got it all duct taped up, and most of the fiberglass has been replaced. The fact that they were putting the cover on is a good indicator that they've gotten it fixed. But we'll ask Tony himself. I know the cosmetic isn't your biggest concern. Did they fix the right front suspension?
Yeah, we think we have it pretty close. We had everything ready for something like this, to happen. A little concerned the first couple of laps to make sure everything, make sure the steering's good. Everything seemed to be all right. It was a pretty hard hit, but it wasn't as bad as we thought, I guess.
Now, Tony, the format here is never one that you prefer. Was it any different this year? Were you just the recipient of what's normally happened here at Columbus?
Well, actually, things are going real good for us. We were on the pole. That qualifying race and was running off and hiding from everybody. And, the lap cars just were racing there. They're racing for position 2, and it's a tight racetrack. And went in off into turn 3, and they all wrecked. It was just a big pile. I don't see how anybody else got around, but just one of those things. I hate to see it, but we're okay, and we're in the race, and hopefully we'll have a little bit better luck this time.
Okay, well, Tony's set to go. Not too worried about the front suspension there, so he should be good for 200.
If you're wondering why they run the format here the way they do, it's because to pit here under green flag conditions would be virtually impossible. There is no pit lane down the middle of the racetrack. The only pits are off of turns 1 and 2. Now, during a yellow flag situation, there you see the entrance to it right there. It's okay to roll in there and get to your stall. They have it set up back there. There's actually a flow of traffic, a traffic pattern designed back there. There's the entrance, and there is the exit. They're on opposite sides of that grandstand down there in turns 1 and 2. And you can get in there under yellow, get your car taken care of the way you need to, and then back out. So 300 laps here on the third mile, you would have to make a green flag pit stop. But, Dave, you can't do that.
Ralph, we're right in the middle of the entrance here, and the wreckers came in a few minutes ago and about knocked me over. There just is no room to get in and out of here. But as you can see, there's no pit lane on the infield here. All the pit lane will be on the outside of the track. As you can see, they have to come out and actually turn right hard coming off of the speedway. From there, they have to turn right again. That's the only right turn they'll make from here on out. They make a bunch of hard lefts around here. And if you can make it through the corners and through your pit stall successfully, you're going to re-enter the track back in turn number 2, but there's a lot of obstacles along the way as well. And as you can see, Brett Bell exiting there. It's the only track that format actually happens. The smaller tracks, even Anderson, will pit on the infield, but Columbus is the only place where they actually have to exit the speedway in order to make a pit stop. And of course, Ralph, they don't want to do that because if it's under green flag conditions, it's going to put them down in a hurry.
That's right, Dave. And tip of the hat to Brad Hutton, our handheld cameraman, for getting that great shot, hanging out the front of a golf cart as they went.
I think we sped it up a little bit, but the guys will want to be going at least that fast.
They were going pretty quick through there. Jimmy Wilson driving, they were getting through there pretty quick.
Under green, these guys will be going extremely quick. They're using up the entire pit area as a pit lane here at Columbus.
So some of the folks just trying to wait out the weather and wait out the preparations as the rest of the crews get their cars ready to go. We're making our way through this short break while we wait to get into the 200-lap portion of the Buckeye 300.
Win's Extend Supreme Plus is a patented oil supplement especially formulated for today's high-tech engines. Extend helps increase oil life, combats engine wear, and reduces oil oxidation. So next time and every time you have your oil changed, ask for Extend, the supplement that will not void manufacturer's warranties and comes with its own 100,000-mile warranty. Extend Supreme Plus, a Win Oil Company product since 1939. Available at your quality service facility, including Firestone, Goodyear, and Grease Monkeys.
This is the story of the man in black, and the Goodwrench team keeps his car on track. You know their secret's consistency. It's all in the list. And if it takes all night, they'll get it done right. Turn to your GM Goodwrench service team for consistency and attention to detail. Their tools, training, equipment, and genuine GM parts let you run with the winners. To build the perfect ride, use a checklist as your guide. And always keep the customer satisfied.
Welcome back to Columbus Motor Speedway. The Buckeye 300 is what we're waiting to get going once again. Rain is falling. Makes for a bit of a dark day here, but a bit of some rays of sunshine involved with the ASA, right, Jim?
Well, ASA founder Rex Robbins is recovering after some surgery. We definitely are glad to see Rex here at the racetrack, being his cantankerous old self at times, but getting the job done here as the president of ASA. But he underwent some recent surgery. They thought he had a kidney stone, but it got a little more serious, so he went under the knife on Tuesday, March 26th, and he got back to the office a week later, and he's been in the office every day since about tax day. So Rex is back at it, and hopefully 100% real quick, so we're looking forward to that.
Hard to keep Rex Robbins out of the office when it comes to racing, and coming back the day after tax day, that was the day I left. Ooh. There's Mike Miller's car getting pushed out. New sponsorship on that car, 2 new things on the side of that car. One is Car Cop, which is his sponsor. The other thing is USA
Team Handball.
USA Team Handball. That's what it is.
Team Handball.
Team Handball, and that's the key. Mike is not a big handball player, but, of course, the Olympics are taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. That is where Mike's race shop is and where Mike is from. You see Mike helping to push the car out.
He's that skinny guy on the left.
And they're going to be...
the skinnier guy on the left.
They're going to be supporting USA Team Handball, which is different than regular handball. Instead of just 2 guys playing, it's a whole team, and they have goals set up and so forth, and he was explaining it to us earlier today. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, I've talked to one of the crew members, and it looks like they might have a couple of the Team Handball members in Toledo next weekend. One of the members is an all-star Team Handball player. He'll be on the Olympic team. The team itself is training in Marietta, Georgia, so it's a perfect partnership for Mike Miller to gain exposure for that effort in the Olympics coming up this summer.
Bill Baird has been having a pretty good day here. He was voted Most Improved Driver of 1995, and he's standing by with Dave Burns.
You know, Ralph, and while Bill has been honing his driving skills over the last couple of years, as you've mentioned, he's bought himself a Russian MiG. I don't know where that fits into the racing plan here, but they have a new trailer this year as well, and I understand, Bill, it came from kind of a famous race car driver down south.
Yes, this was Earnhardt's trailer from last year. He campaigned it through the 95 season. I bought it from them right after they got back from practice in Daytona this last year, sent it back to Featherlight, had it repainted, and it's a home away from home now.
It's nice black and orange 26 colors here for Bill. Are you, you're obviously very concerned about taking your program here to the highest level, and this is a big part of it.
Yes, you know, it's nice here today. It's raining. Everybody's inside. It's warm. Watching rain on TNN, of course, and we're just trying to put the best professional team together as we can. Luckily, with the sponsorships we have, we're able to, and it makes it a whole lot nicer.
Well, of course, Ralph, when we came down here, of course, this was the first place we ran to. It has one of the larger awnings out the back, and we're interested in staying dry as well. Back to you.
Thank you, Dave. There's some of the other cars. That's Tom Jones's new paint scheme. This year running black. So used to seeing him in the blue and the whites. And now this year, Zero Hero kept his number, but he'll be running the black paint scheme. Ace Jack's Pontiac of Tom Jones. It's a creative way of staying dry.
Well, you got to keep the hat dry, see, because you pay a lot of money for those racing hats these days, so you ought to make sure that you keep things dry on the cap, too, because that's pretty expensive stuff these days.
Some of the cars getting pushed out here as we get set, hopefully, to maybe bring those motors to life and use some of that hot exhaust out of those 9-to-1 V6s to help dry the track.
A while back, there was an event called Thunder in the Mountains to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Johnny Benson Jr. was there, and Yale Conley couldn't make it there, so he brought a special friend to the racetrack. We spent a little bit of time with him earlier today. Talk to Dr. Yale Conley about a special guest you have in the pit area. We're going to meet him in just a moment, but Yale, tell us how this all came about.
My secretary for Conley Racing and Simonton Windows Racing team heard about Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Joe is participating in that function, and we've asked Joe to come here today on behalf of Make-A-Wish to see an ASA race. This is one of his wishes that we felt we could grant, and we're real proud to do it, Conley Racing in Simonton.
Joe, what's your favorite part about being at the racetrack?
The race car?
Did you get to sit in it yet?
Yes.
What do you think about how it sounds and how it's going to be at the racetrack today?
It's loud.
We'll get you some earplugs, but thanks for coming out today. We really appreciate it and hope you have a good time today.
Okay.
Joel Mueller, who's actually going to give the start command if we ever get going today. He got to go to Disney World in March, and it's great to see him and his entire family and his brother Jordan here at the racetrack. They got more free TNN stuff than I ever hoped for, Ralph. They gave him the hats, they gave him the pins, so it's great to see them here having some fun at the racetrack.
Oh, you didn't get that stuff?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Sorry you didn't get that.
Where's your bag, Ralph? I think I'll just kind of help myself if you have some of that.
Oh, well. Well, some of the cars moving in and off the grid as they try to figure out what the game plan is. There's Rick Beebe down there who claimed the Pat Shower Rookie of the Year award in 1995. Certainly looking to contend for the championship here this year in the Eaglewood Construction back number 15. The Brown and Sharp number 1, that is the car that Kevin Sawinski will be driving. Well, we have now been told that the 200-lap portion of the Buckeye 300 has been canceled for today and was rescheduled for May 12th. So make sure you keep ready for that. May 12th, we'll be back here apparently to do it again here on the third mile. My Classic Car will be the next thing you will see here on TNN, as unfortunately we will not be able to bring you the 200-lap portion of the Buckeye 300. For Dave Burns, Jim Trudeau, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from a rainy Columbus Motor Speedway.
Great big gobs of